Hi, this is Kerry Artak with Wicked Stocks, bringing you your daily Tesla report for Tuesday, July 22nd, 2025. Let's take a look at the charts. We still have overhead resistance. That is our upward pivot point through the rest of the year in the 351.39 to 56.41 region. But until then, this is still a zone of resistance that can contain buying through August and possibly into later year. Now, we have been anticipating the low 350s again following the settlement. Well, we have not. I don't show that. Where is it? Bear with me. I do know we have it here somewhere. And it is right here. There we are. 300.69, well below the market. We don't even have that as a minor point today. We have other things going on in the low 300s. But it was the settlement a week and a half or so ago above this 300.69 formation that set up the low to mid 350s again as a 2 to 3 week target. Now, yesterday, Monday, we opened clearly above the sister formation at 328.14. We did not close above it, though. And so the question is, where now from here? Now, if we can, open above 328.14 today, we did that on Monday without any upside follow through. So, but I will say today, if we open above 328.14, and we may, an unchanged open would provide that, we could make our way up to not so much the 350s, but we have these carefully chosen minor points on the way up. Bottom line, closing today above the 328.14 extreme channel top will keep the 350s in reach this week. A Tuesday settlement above 328.14 allows a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday rally into the low to mid 350s, where once again we can top out through August perhaps and fall away again from here. If we can close, and it's not going to happen this week, I don't think, but if we were to close Friday above 356.41, then we enter a longer term buy signal that I would expect to play out through the rest of the year essentially. This 518.73 5-year channel top, then likely, possibly by the end of the year. This could be a 3 to 5 month rally. The last time we were in this position was in November when we closed above the same structure, and we almost reached this within a matter of 3 to 5 weeks. But that was a post-election, pre-inauguration, a pre-Musk Trump battling war that all played out in about 3 to 5 weeks, where we almost reached this channel top. But I do think, under present circumstances, if we close about 356.41, then the 518.73 area likely within 6 months or less. Until then, that is your short sale zone, not only on a 3 to 5 day, but 3 to 5 week basis as well. Let's get back to this chart. 328.14 is this extreme channel top. I've softened it to just an intraday pivot point. As I've said, though, we've yet to close above it, and if we do today, Tuesday, I do see a constructive dynamic through the rest of the week. Now, in terms of a downward pivot point, that would come with a violation, that is to say, a settlement today below this newly formed rising 2-week channel bottom at 321.29. So this structure can be bought, and as long as we do not close below it, by the end of next week or sooner, we should see our still targeted 351.39 to 356.41. It's just that I think if we close above the extreme channel top at 328.14, we may well see the low to mid 350s by the end of this week. But I do see 321.29 as a trend-defining near-term support. And what I mean by that is following that low from early July, that trend remains intact. Momentum remains intact over the last couple of weeks above 321.29. So 321.29 is a solid day trade level and 3 to 5 day upside swing trade level. And into next week or this week, we could reach the low to mid 350s above 321.29. But if we do close, well, let's go with the break below 321.29, because I think that is realistic that we could actually see 313.39 on an intraday basis if we break 321.29 today. And if we close today below 321.29, this simple rising trend line off the extreme lows, the April low and the early July low at 302.73, does become your 3 to 5 day target. So closing below 321.29, I see no good reason to stay long Tesla if your time horizon is, let's say, 3 to 5 days. I think you can play the short side then down to 302.73. And there is the very real possibility we could continue even further south. But the sell signals over the 2 to 3 week time frame, if you've been following the series for the last month or so, we had two failed 2 to 3 week sell signals over the last month. One was a rising 4-month channel bottom. The other was a rising 2/3 speed line. We took them both out to the downside without any downside follow through, only a complete rejection of them days later. So I don't want to, I'm not quite sure.
If you're finding value in this analysis, it's only a glimpse of what we offer. Your real trading edge starts at wickedstocks.com. Each week, premium members receive 2 high-probability stock picks. Each one comes with a complete trade plan, including exact entry, profit target, stop loss, and regular updates so you can manage the trade with confidence. You'll also get daily video analysis in the top traded markets, the SPY, the Triple Q, and NVIDIA, highlighting the key price levels, trends, and trade setups we're focused on. Whether you're day trading or swing trading, these insights help you zero in on the highest quality opportunities with clarity. Try it all free for 5 days. Cancel at any time.
If that dynamic has exhausted itself or not, so I don't really want to swing for the fences. In other words, closing below 321.29, I'm reluctant, for instance, to anticipate 284.70 as a 2 to 3 week target or even lower. There are descending channel bottoms that we'll be watching, and we already really are. On the weekly chart at 255.41, on the daily chart at 253.51. Looking at this chart, you could say that closing below the trend line at 302.73 may be your short sale. I don't want to get in the way of that. If we close below 321.29, I think 3 to 5 day swing traders can reverse. So rather than anticipating the low to mid 350s, you're looking for about a 20-point break to 302.73. And I think you've got a series of 3 to 5 day sell signals. The question is, will we see 253.51 over the next 3 to 5 weeks if we close below 321.29? And I just don't see the market telling us that. I think this is a good 3 to 5 day sell signal, and then you can just take it in stair-step fashion. I will say that if we close below 284.70 over the next week or two, just the low settlement price following that late May high, that would be our downward pivot point into the lower 250s within 1 to 3 weeks, depending on volatility. And as far as the 250s go, that is a zone that can be bought on a midterm basis. In other words, on a monthly basis. And from there, we can round up. Perhaps into the 350s again within several months. I'd already mentioned how a long-term buy signal presents itself with a settlement above 356.41. I really don't see a long-term sell signal presenting itself until or unless we were to close below this 255.41 formation on the weekly chart, and then I would expect 2 to 3 months bearish continuation into the low to upper 160s, where Tesla encounters a 5-year channel bottom that is well suited to contain selling well into next year. We can round up nicely from here in the months following a test of the 160s, but that does not come into play unless we close below 255.41. Today's Tuesday. We'll be putting a stock pick out later today, another later in the week, 2 this week, 2 every week. Check us out at wickedstocks.com. You can actually see them for free. Very well suited for 3 to 5 week out to 3 to 5 month swing trader, near-term investors, always looking for 20% moves on those underlying stocks. If we don't see that as a realistic outcome, we do not present it as a buy signal. And we support you along the way in the weeks following with updates on targets, stop loss levels, etc., etc. With that 5-day free trial, you also get daily Triple Q and daily SPY analysis and weekly Apple stock analysis. So check us out at wickedstocks.com and take advantage of that 5-day free trial. I'll be back tomorrow, of course, with Wednesday's Tesla report, and you have a great day.